everybody, and welcome to the first episode of our second series of Reflecting Shakespeare TV. We are thrilled to be back, and we're so happy you're here to join us. My name is Erika, and I'm the program's manager and facilitator for the Old Globe's Reflecting Shakespeare program. Reflecting Shakespeare is a performing arts course that we've been bringing to people who are incarcerated for 5 years. The goals are to decrease social isolation, increase connection and empathy, provide a vehicle for self-reflection and creative expression. Inside, our participants report a transformative experience in many different ways. And what we do is pretty simple. We play some icebreaker games, and then we get into some Shakespeare, and we look at what's going on in the text there. And then we take some questions that ask each other, what does this have to do with us? And we try to make it personal. And from there, we get to be connected, and that's where the magic happens. But before we go any further, let me bring on our favorite part of Reflecting Shakespeare, our co-facilitators, James and Niki. Hey, guys.
Hey, hello. Hey, hello there.
So happy to have you back. Are you psyched for Series 2? All right, so why don't you introduce yourselves to our friends if they're new to our program.
All right, so my name is James. I was trained as a director, and I'm a teacher and facilitator at the Old Globe. And I've been bringing Reflecting Shakespeare inside for about 5 years now. And before that, I delivered playwriting programs to prisons and juvenile hall for several years.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. So my name is Niki. I'm a facilitator for Reflecting Shakespeare and other community programs. I've been working with the Old Globe for about a year. I am formerly incarcerated. I served 25 years. And to be super honest, I didn't know anything about Shakespeare, really, seriously, until I started working with these guys. And I'm blown away at how amazing the program is and how special it is, even to me. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for joining us.
All right, let's start off with how we start class with our highs and lows from this past week. Share something good that happened to you or something not so great. Who's going to start?
I'll start. I like to start. So my high is that I'm looking to get a brand new vehicle. Yay! My low is that it's going to take money away from me getting my home. So, womp womp.
All right, I'll go next. My high is that we are back with this second season of Reflecting Shakespeare TV. And my low is that this up and down COVID roller coaster is still going strong.
All right. I'll take my high as being back for Series 2. And my favorite part about that is that we're going to attempt to have a fourth seat for the future episodes that we're going to be bringing in a special guest each time, and we're hoping to highlight and amplify the voices of people who've been formerly incarcerated with that fourth spot to join us, and I'm really, really excited about that. And my low is that I've recently moved, and I still have boxes everywhere. I can't seem to put everything away. So for you watching, what are your highs and lows this week? We're going to ask you to journal along, and you can start with that check-in. And if you're watching online, why don't you put your highs and lows in the comments? We'd love to have some interaction in there as well all through the show. And while we are up here on screen, at least one of us is going to be in the comments saying hi to you watching at the same time. So, hey. All right, so cool. Let's attempt a warm-up game. James, what do you have in store for us?
Sure. We're going to play an oldie but a goodie. Those of you seen season 1 will know this game. So we're going to play a version of a game called Red Bull, and it works like this. So we're all going to imagine that I have a ball right here in my hands. It has a size and a weight to it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to call out one of my co-facilitators there. It's going to be Niki, and I'm going to throw this ball to her. And she's going to catch the same ball that I throw, same size and the same weight. So here we go. And I'm going to call out Red Bull so she knows it's coming. All right, here we go. Red Bull.
I got it.
Good catch.
I catch that red ball, and I got it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transform this red ball that you sent to me, make it nice and small. I'm going to shrink it down a little bit. I'm going to turn it into a golf ball. The weight of a golf ball, the size of a golf ball, and I'm going to go ahead and chuck this ball at Erika, and she's going to use her best hands to catch it because I don't want to take them glasses off her little face. Better catch this ball. It's coming. Ready? Red ball.
Okay. Oh. Whew. It's coming right from your face. All right. I'm gonna turn this into one of those old school gym dodgeballs. You know, they're usually red. Mine were rubbery. They have a smell to it. I don't know if you remember that. Those dodgeballs had a smell. Okay, here it comes. I'm gonna send this out to everybody watching. All right, so everybody watching, you get ready. This is coming towards you. You know these things. You got them from your memory. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Red ball. Awesome. Okay. And now that you've got it, you're going to transform that to something really big and really, really heavy. Feel it in your muscles, how heavy this new enormous, I don't know, cannonball is. And then you're going to send it back to us. It'll magically turn into 3. We're all going to catch it. Okay, so have fun expanding it, feeling the weight and feeling in your body and engaging your muscles with this, basically, this pantomime, this fun pantomime. Here we go. Ready to throw it to us? 1, 2, 3, red ball. Oh. Oh boy.
Over here.
All right, let's put that down. Fun. Okay, now that we've warmed up our sense of play, let's get into our work. We've organized things a little bit differently this series, and we are very excited about it.
Yeah, so this time around, we're going to organize our discussion about the Shakespeare and our journaling around the pathway of socio-emotional growth and healing, right? It may be a little tough at first because that's what comes with growth, but it will end in a place of forgiveness and possibility, which is key. It's all a process, people. It's all a process. So usually when we think about the process, we think of the first thing, which is pain. And we think of fear. And then we think of anger. And due to the culmination of these emotions, it tends to cause us to take action in real life and in this play, actually, that ultimately results in damage caused by these different emotions, right? Ultimately, it leads to other emotions. Through the process, it goes to guilt, growth, and ending in amends. How powerful is that?
Right. So we looked for a Shakespeare play where we thought we could follow this specific path through the story that Shakespeare created. And the play that we're going to use is The Winter's Tale. One of the later plays that Shakespeare wrote. And I think that he tries to add in elements of what he's learned and observed during his own life and the world around him and try to put those things into this story. The Old Globe brought a professional production of this play last year to many communities in and around San Diego, including 2 state prisons and a county facility where we run the in-person version of this program.
All right, so let's dive in. What do we need to know to get started?
Well, there's 3 main characters at the start of the play. Leontes, king of Sicilia.
Polixenes, king of Bohemia.
Right, and Hermione, who's Leontes' wife. She's the queen of Sicilia.
Right. So what's important to know is that Leontes and Polixenes were best friends when they were kids. Polixenes has been visiting Leontes for a long 9-month vacation because they haven't seen each other for years. But now he thinks it's time for him to return home.
Leontes wants him to stay, but can't convince him. So he asks his wife, Hermione, to try.
Right, and it's important to know Queen Hermione is pretty heavily pregnant at this point in the story.
And you know, right, the vibes are good at the start of this play. Most productions often have a lot of laughter. There are celebrations. There's a party going on. There's a feeling that these people are good friends and they are good leaders of their country. Their relationships are in good shape. There's a lot of respect given and received, which is important to know as the story begins to unfold.
Okay, so I want to read it. So who's ready to read? Who's reading what? And let's get in this.
All right. How about Niki? Why don't you read Leontes? I'm going to read Polixenes, and Erika, can you read Hermione, please? All right, folks. Here we go. First scene of the Winter's Tale. 9 months we have left our throne without a burden. I would stay longer, and yet I should go, forever in your debt.
Stay your thanks a while and pay them when you part.
Sir, that's tomorrow.
1 7 night longer.
Tomorrow. My affairs drag me homeward. Farewell, our brother.
Tongue tie our queen? Speak you.
Tell him you're sure all in Bohemia is well.
Well said, Hermione.
Stay a week. When at Bohemia you take my lord, I'll let him rest there a month behind the day prefixed for his parting. He'll stay?
No, madam.
Nay, but you will.
May not, verily.
Verily. Will you go yet? Force me to keep you as a prisoner, not like a guest. How say you, your prisoner or my guest? One of them you shall be.
Your guest, then, madam.
Oh, not your jailer then, but your kind hostess. Come, I'll question you of my lord's tricks and yours when you were boys. You were pretty lordings then?
We were, fair queen.
Was not my lord the verier wag of the two?
We were as twin lambs that did frisk in the sun. We knew none of ill-doing, nor dreamed that any did.
Oh, by this I gather you've tripped since.
Is he won yet?
He'll stay, my lord.
At my request he would not. Hermione, my dearest, thou never spokest to better purpose.
Never?
Never but once.
What, have I twice said well? When was it before?
Why, that was when thou didst utter to me, I am yours forever.
Ah, I have spoke to the purpose twice. The one forever earned a royal husband. The other, for some while, a friend.
Too hot, too hot. To mingle friendship far as mingling bloods. My heart dances, but not for joy, not for joy. This entertainment may derive a liberty, but to be peddling palms and pinching fingers. And now they are, and then to sigh, oh, this is entertainment my bosom likes not.
All right, that was great. So what just happened?
Well, I got that Leontes asked his wife to get Polixenes to stay. But when she puts on the charm and does what he asks her to do, he turns and gets like super jealous.
Yeah, it's like out of nowhere that he goes there. And I imagine a lot of how the audience interprets that moment has to do with how the actors play it out. I had always seen versions of this play where the audience is shocked by Leontes' turn, but you know, the first time that we brought the script into a women's prison, that particular group read that Hermione was pregnant, that Polixenes was there for 9 months, saw Hermione kind of flirting, and just assumed Leontes was right in discovering an infidelity.
Yeah. So where do you think that jealousy comes from? Because it kind of feels like an unexpected moment, maybe. Hermione is known as an honorable woman. Leontes is known for being a straight up and even-tempered man, and yet he kind of goes completely like his best friend and his wife have betrayed him. So what I'm interested in digging into is, why does he assume the worst now? And where does that sense of jealousy come from? And maybe not just for Leontes, but that sense of jealousy, where does that come from generally?
That's such a good question, James. So I always related to insecurities, like pain from the past. There are a lot of different hurts we hold on to that come out in negative emotions like jealousy. I always tell my people when we think we're like angry, right? It's never just anger. There are always other kind of hard emotions that contribute to that one feeling. With pain, we tend to overlook or fail to realize that feelings of rejection, inadequacy, insecurities, belittlement, abandonment, exclusions, feeling trapped, humiliated, maybe even sometimes even obligated, just to name a few. All these emotions are linked to create some type of pain that will ultimately create that insecurity, and to link this to the topic at hand, which is jealousy.
Yeah, I hear all that, Niki. What you're saying But I have to admit that one thing I have trouble with sometimes is when I see this play as an audience member, that sometimes this really deep jealousy, like what you read it so well, but it seems to come out of nowhere.
Yeah, for me, I don't really have so much a problem with that. And there's something about the fact that it is so shocking. And I start to think about, wait, did he always feel like this? Did he keep this feeling under wraps, or did it just happen right in this moment? What is it about seeing his old friend now that has brought this on and made him feel so insecure all of a sudden?
Well, and I like it too. It's super powerful that it comes out of nowhere, right? And it happens like that sometimes, that even in real life, with real life triggers, just comes out of nowhere. The thing with this is no one expected him to be like that. Hermione didn't expect it at all. If she did, she would have been acting a little bit different. Like, she would have had her guard up. She would have been a little bit more resistant into going along with what it is that he had asked. But she was just being herself and assumed that she was safe, right?
Totally. That's how I felt when I was reading it. Very safe to be that way. I like what you said. So, okay. So, all right. So, what are we going to journal on? Let's try to do this fill in the blank exercise. It's because you are my blank, I expect you to blank. But when you don't, I feel blank. And also, because you're my blank, that's like my relationship, I give you blank. But when that's taken for granted or not returned, I feel blank. So at home, you can try filling this out for yourself with any of the relationships you have, and you can do the same prompt more than once with different people in your life. But first, and as examples, why don't we try this from the point of view of the characters that we read? So I'll try from Hermione's perspective. I guess it might be, because you are my husband, I expect you to trust me, but when you don't, I feel disrespected. Because you are my husband, I give you my best self. But when that's taken for granted, I feel sad and confused. James, what would you do for Polixenes?
I might say this. Because you are my oldest friend, I expect you to trust me. But when you don't, I feel hurt. Or he might say, because you are my best friend, I give you my trust. But when it's taken for granted or not returned, I feel let down. Niki, what about Leonti?
So I would say, because you are my wife, I expect you to have strong boundaries. But when you don't, I feel disregarded and disrespected.
Mm-hmm.
Because you are my friend, I give you respect and friendship and value. But when that is taken for granted or not returned, I feel discarded and irrelevant and undervalued.
Wow.
Okay, so everybody watching this online, now is your turn to write to us your version of this little expectation poem. Put it right there in the comments, or check out the link there to the handout, which will have instructions how to send it in your writing to us. So if you're journaling along out there and you either don't want to share it live, which is completely fine, or you're not watching live, you still have a chance to write it on in.
One of the most powerful parts of Reflecting Shakespeare is always the sharing of our responses, our reflections to the plays that we're reading and understanding together. So please do journal and write in. With your permission, we'll share out community responses as the series progresses.
Wonderful. I'm reminding everybody out there that you'd be writing this from your own perspective with a relationship in your life and not from the characters. So, like mine might be, because you're my mom, I expect you to support me. And when you don't, I feel disregarded. All right.
Yay! All right, so let's ask a journaling question that's really about digging into this earlier part of our socio-emotional growth pathway, right? So strap on your boots and pace yourself, guys. So to get there, I want you guys to think about, right? I'm getting ready to get involved here. Raise your hand if you've ever had an emotion that you enjoyed feeling. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Thank you. Now, raise your hand if you've ever had an emotion that you didn't enjoy feeling. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Raise your hand high. We've all been there, right? This is something that we all have in common. So what is an emotion you've experienced that you enjoyed, right? And I want you to think about that emotion. I want you to name it, like joy or love, peace, relief, excitement, gratitude, right? So what is a memory of having experienced that emotion that you liked, that you just named? And you guys can jot that down. Now, what is one of the emotions you experienced that you did not enjoy? Name it. Be specific. Think of rejection, abandonment, jealousy, fear, loss, or even grief. Okay, so what is the memory that you have of experiencing that emotion that you did not enjoy, that caused you some pain? That is what we're going to take some more time journaling on in this reflection. Name the emotion that was painful. And if it was anger, I challenge you guys. Anger is not the answer. Try to go a little bit deeper. What is the hurtful feeling that caused the anger? Can you name that emotion? And what is the memory of when you felt that emotion? Now, I also challenge you guys, if you really want to get a little bit deeper, then once you've identified that one emotion and that memory, see if you can do it for one or two few different emotions. Not just a different memory of the same emotion, but different emotions, and then a memory attached to that. But don't do more than 3. 3 is plenty, seriously. And I want to commend you guys for your strength and for being able to be honest with ourselves. It's not always easy. So thank you guys.
And remember, please send us your responses. We'll read some anonymously in future episodes. Understanding that we all experience different emotions, but that we can actually relate to each other's emotions truly reduces our own sense of isolation. It's the heart of this program. We encourage you to give it a try.
Yeah, last series, our final episode was sharing community responses from both inside and outside. We would love to do that again, and maybe we could do even more than one episode. So please, that depends on you. Send us your poems and your journaling. And guess what, folks? This is the end of our episode.
What? That was awesome. We're back on, people.
Yeah, season 2 up and running.
Yep, that's the end of our program. So let's end it the way we end class. One word checkout. One word describing how you feel right now. Nikki.
Dope.
Good.
Happy.
All right, and everyone watching? Love that.
Yeah,
So right now we'll do our famous count out. 1, 2, 3, and on the 4th beat, we're all gonna clap together on time in sync like we always do. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in.
Next time.
Bye, everyone.
We look forward to hearing from you.
Bye.
Bye.